After a very long race at Watkins Glen, AJ Allmendinger was able to get his first Sprint Cup Series win over Marcus Ambrose, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything in the chase. Hello everybody, what is going on? It's Tanner, and welcome to the first ever episode of T's Race Review. Today we are going to be reviewing Watkins Glen International Speedway. It was the Cheez-It 355, and I have some Cheez-Its behind me because Cheez-It is our video sponsor, the first ever sponsor of T's Race Review. I'm going to have a sponsor every week, so put a comment down below of what you guys think I should be, what the sponsor should be next video, and maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't, but go ahead and try. So, a little pre-race stuff. Tony Stewart did not race because of the sprint car incident, and Regan Smith filled in for him. Regan Smith basically showed up at the track, got fitted in the car, and then had to go out and race. So, it was basically Regan Smith didn't have any practice in it, but he has driven sprint cup cars before, so it wasn't totally new to him. But he basically had to jump in the car and go race. But early going on in the race, Kevin Harvick had, on lap 4, he had balance bags, which, if you guys didn't know, they were bags that equal the driver's weight that the team puts, I guess they put them under the seat, that weigh out the car that equal the weight that the driver has. So all the balance and weight distribution, I guess, is equal when they're doing all their measurements and weight stuff. So that was a problem for him. They slid out from under the seat and caused some problems between his gas and brake pedal. They were interfering, so he had to pit on lap 4, but it didn't put him a lap down. He was just far back in the field and dead last. And then Cole Witt on lap 10, he hit the tire barriers at the end of turn 1. He just had a brake failure and then slid it up into the wall, similar to what Denny Hamlin did in 2012. He just put it right in the wall, but he was okay, and the car was destroyed always when it hits there. And going on, Kyle Busch had some struggles during the race. Early going, he had to go down through a pass-through penalty because of a gas can that was stuck on his car. And I mean, you could say, it was the gas man's fault, but it's hard for him to pit on the other side, insert it on the other side, because, you know, once you get into a routine of doing it on this side every week, I guess it's harder to do it on the other side. So, I mean, I guess you could say it's his fault. And so he had to have a pass-through penalty for that. And then sometime during the race, it was a little bit after that, maybe like 5 or 6 laps after that, Kyle Busch just makes contact with Martin Truex Jr., and I have no idea why he did it. He just basically did a sharp turn, made contact with him, and it didn't really affect Martin Truex Jr. It just hurt Kyle Busch more. It blew his tire and kind of destroyed the whole left front of his car, which, I mean, basically, I don't know why Kyle Busch did it, but it just hurt him even more. He ended up finishing 40th, so I don't know why Kyle did it, but it hurt him even more. And Brad Keselowski had some loss of brake fluid in the left rear, so he had to go to the garage area, get that fixed, and then he came back out. And then a caution on lap 52 for Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon's batteries and the whole car just died on him. He tried the second battery, it wouldn't work, and they were saying it was a connection issue with something. So Jeff Gordon basically went on a little access road. Well, he got pushed on an access road, and what I thought was funny is he basically got pitted behind his pit stall. So his pit stall is like right here, and then here's basically behind it. So like the track's over here, but here's his pit stall, and he pitted behind it. So I just thought that was kind of funny because, I mean, you don't see it every day, so it's kind of funny. And then something else that was important about that is he was second when that was happening, or when that happened, and that basically ruined his race. It put him, I think, 4 or 5 laps down, and he was never able to catch up again. And if that didn't happen to him, I think he either would have won this race or he would have been second or third, because he had a pretty good car. He was second when it happened. He qualified on the pole, so who knows what would have happened to Jeff if that didn't happen. But then there was a big wreck with 34 laps to go, which I don't know if all of you guys saw this, but it was pretty big. Greg Biffle kind of like slowed up and took Newman out, I guess. I mean, I know he didn't do it on purpose, but Newman's car slid into the tires coming out of the carousel, hit the tires, spun back onto the track, and then hit Michael McDowell. He hit him right here, and then the whole rear axle, I don't know how this happened, but the rear axle came like undone from his car or whatever. Then basically the tires made his car bounce up in the air, and then the rear axle went behind the fence, so it like punched a hole through the fence and the wall actually, and his tires went behind it. So, and he almost flipped from it. He was like leaning on his side, but then it went back over. So he was okay from it. So was Newman, and some other cars were involved. But that set up an hour and 21-minute red flag because Michael McDowell just tore apart the wall. So they had to basically tear up part of the wall that was damaged, and then put in a whole new wall there. So it took them a while, but Michael McDowell was okay from that. Same with Newman, and pit stops happened after that. After they got back going, Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle were some of the big name drivers that stayed out. Carl Edwards was trying to pull a strategy because he already has 2 wins. He's already in the chase, so he's just trying to go for another win at a road course. And AJ Allmendinger passed him a couple laps after they restarted. Same with Greg Biffle. And then Marcus Ambrose worked his way up through the field to get to second position. And that's basically what Marcus Ambrose had to do. He's good at the road courses, so he can go through traffic like that. And then there was a caution with 13 laps to go. Josh Wise blew a tire and then just stopped on the off the track a little bit, so he wouldn't like slide back up and take out more cars, which was smart that he did that. But it was caution, and some of the drivers were low on fuel, or they weren't going to make it on fuel, so that kind of helped them out. And then Jimmy Johnson got spun after they restarted, and it was Kyle Larson that got into Matt Kenseth, and Matt got into Jimmy, and Jimmy spun. And there was like 4 cars trying to go down low, and they all bounced off the wall, and Regan Smith hit Jimmy Johnson in the left rear quarter panel, but nothing he could really do there. 6 laps to go. Restart was 6 laps to go. Denny Hamlin hits the water and gravel barrels at the entrance of pit road, and it just went everywhere. So there was a red flag out again for that. They had to clean it up and replace the barrels. And then they restarted with 2 laps to go. AJ Allmendinger and Marcus Ambrose were all over each other through that whole second lap to go, I guess. But coming into the second to last turn, AJ Allmendinger kind of ran Marcus Ambrose up the track, and AJ Allmendinger basically pulled away from there, and it was basically his race to lose, and he didn't. So AJ Allmendinger was able to take the win, his first ever career Sprint Cup win, which is good for him. I mean, you like seeing the guys that don't win a lot to win, so he locked himself into the chase, but honestly, I don't think anything's going to happen from it. If he makes it past the first little elimination thing, it's probably because some other drivers wrecked. Otherwise, I don't think him or Eric Almirola will make it past the first elimination stage. And let's go through the finishing results now. Obviously, AJ Allmendinger won. Marcus Ambrose got second. Kurt Busch got third. Kyle Larson got fourth. And Carl Edwards got fifth. And some notable drivers that were outside the top 25 were Jimmy Johnson got 28th. Ryan Newman got 31st. Jeff Gordon got 34th. And Kyle Busch got 40th. Probably because of himself and the pit road thing. So, tough break for Kyle. And after every race, I'm going to give out 3 lug nuts, which is basically to the 3 drivers who I thought did the best and who had a good run compared to what they've been doing. And the first one goes to AJ Allmendinger, obviously, because it was his first ever Sprint Cup Series win, and he held off Marcus Ambrose, which it's pretty hard to do, especially at Watkins Glen. And then the next one goes to Kurt Busch. He didn't really have a good car. I mean, he was up there. He stayed in the top 10 all day, so I guess you could say he had a good car, and then he ended up finishing, I think it was third, yeah. Kyle Larson gets the last lug nut because this was his first ever race at a road course, or sorry, at Watkins Glen, and he was able to finish 4th, so he did pretty good. And the chase standings are not the drivers that already have a win, but the drivers who don't. There's Matt Kenseth in 13th, Newman in 14th, Larson in 15th, and Boyer in 16th. And then Biffle's in 17th, and Casey Kane is in 18th. Those two drivers are outside of the chase right now, so I don't know. Biffle's going to have a good shot for a win coming up here at Michigan. And Austin Dillon's 19th, and Casey Kane's best chance is maybe Bristol, but other than that, I don't know who else is going to make it in. But speaking of Michigan, we're going to go into my top 3 picks to win. And my first pick, which is the pick that I'm going for my record, I guess, is Joey Logano. I feel like Joey Logano is going to be able to get a win and just help out his chase hopes, or his championship hopes. And yeah, he did really good in the 2013 race. He won the 2013 race, so I guess he did really good. And my next pick is Kevin Harvick. He did really good in the 2014 race this year, so I think he hasn't been running really good lately, but I feel like he'll be able to either get a win or get a good top 5. And then Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's been good at some of the big tracks, like Daytona. He won it, and that's basically the same speed as Michigan. And then he did good at Pocono. I mean, he swept both Poconos. So I feel like Dale Jr. will have a pretty good shot at winning. And yeah, that's all I got. And please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. And go check out the Colorado Cup Series if you guys haven't already. And that's all I got to say, but go buy a box of Cheez-Its. See you guys on Wednesday.